I'm going to call to order this meeting of the Monroe County Board of Commissioners. It is Thursday, January 30th. I will note for the record that all three commissioners are present here in the Nat U Hill Room, and we will begin with our public statement read by Commissioner Jones. Look how smooth that was.
We, the Monroe County Board of Commissioners, renew our commitment to welcome and protect the rights of all people, regardless of age, race, color, creed, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, marital status, economic status, and national origin. And we affirm the right of every person to live peacefully and without fear, and we will fight and resist at every step discrimination and harmful policies, whatever their source. We also stand in support of our county public school systems, both RBB and MCCSC.
Great, thank you so much. And actually, we have a screen for the captions, and it's showing MC for courthouse, but I don't see the actual text. It looks like it might be black on black, maybe. So I don't know if that could be adjusted. Thank you. Okay, next item on our agenda, department updates. Any departments have an update to share with us? We'll begin with the health department as always. There she is, Ms. Kelly.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thanks, good morning. Emergency department visits for COVID-like illness are slightly up this week, but wastewater detections are trending down. Flu activity remains high, and there were 3 flu-associated deaths within the state of Indiana last week. As a reminder, our public health clinic does have vaccines available for all ages. You can call 812-353-3244 for an appointment.
Great, thank you so much. Comments or questions? Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't.
Commissioner Madeira?
None.
All right, thank you for all of your hard work. And I know that the health department, like all of our other departments, are watching the legislation carefully, both at the federal and the state level. All right, any other department updates for us? You can raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. There you go, that worked, that did it, thank you. Come to the podium in Nat U Hill. All right, seeing none, we will now move on to public comment. This is a time reserved for comment from the public. That is for an item not on our agenda. Each commenter is requested to keep their commentary to 3 minutes or less. Please provide your name and county of residence. Anyone here in the Nat U Hill Room have public comment? Anyone online, you may raise your hand on Teams. Okay, seeing none, we will move on to the next item, please.
Move approval of the minutes for January 16th, 2025.
I second that motion.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any comments? All those in favor of approving the minutes for January 16, 2025, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Move approval of the claims docket, accounts payable January 30th, 2025, and payroll January 24th, 2025.
I second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and we have a second, and from the auditor's office, we have Gallardo joining us. Good morning.
Good morning. The accounts payable docket for January 30th totals $4,004,727.66. Emergency claims and adjustments will be provided at next week's meeting as our financial system is offline for server migration. The payroll docket for January 24th, 2025 includes $1,749,447.89. Indirect cost and the remaining $909,634.04 were for indirect cost for the grand total of $2,659,081.93.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Comments or questions, Commissioner Madeira?
None.
Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't.
All right. Any public comment on this item? You can raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the claims docket accounts payable January 30th, 2025 and payroll January 24th, 2025 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. I will note for the record, we have received reports from the Clerk of the Circuit Court for December 2024, from the Treasurer, December 2024, and from Weights and Measures, December 16th, 2024 to January 15th, 2025. And now we will move on to new business, please.
Move approval of the auditor's 2025 public official bond.
I second that motion.
We have a motion and we have a second. Mr. Cockrell? Listed as a possible presenter.
Yeah, give me a second. My computer was scrolling. Yes, each year public officials have to issue a bond, a public officials bond to make sure that there is insurance coverage for if they make mistakes or if there's any malfeasance. Requires the commissioners to sign off on a certain number of bonds. The auditor's office is one of them. And so this is just you signing off on the bond. The amount of the bond is set per our code. And so this meets all those criterias. I would just note that probably at next week's work session, we'll get the rest of the bonds that you guys are.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Comments, questions? Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't.
Commissioner Madeira?
No.
Okay. Any public comment on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the auditor's 2025 public official bond signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Move approval of IDUS International Inc. Purchase and Maintenance Agreement, Fund Name, Clerk's Record Perpetuation, Fund Number 1119, in an amount not to exceed $24,970.
I second that motion.
All right. We have a motion and we have a second. Good morning.
I was just wondering if you had any questions. I'm Laura Wirt, Chief Deputy Clerk of the Clerk's Office. So
Thank you.
I'm
Did
here
you want to present this item?
I was, yes. The clerk asked me to express her regret that she is unable to appear before you this morning due to an unexpected event that has called her away, and I personally thank you for the opportunity.
If I could help, there's another item on this agenda about surplusing
Right.
a scanner. This is to replace that scanner that they are losing.
Right, right. And it is a book scanner with maintenance agreement. Okay, all right. Thank you. Let's see if, do you have any questions? Either commissioners? Questions? Okay, I don't either. Let's see if there's any public comments on this item. You can raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the IDUS International Inc. Purchase and Maintenance Agreement signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. We do have another item related to this. Thank you. Next item, please.
Move approval of ratification of the 2024 Emergency Management Performance Salary Grant. The grant amount is up to $55,000.
I second that motion.
We have a motion and we have a second, and we have Mr. Baker joining us via Teams.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Yes, the EMA office was awarded the 2024 Emergency Management Performance Grant, which is the salary reimbursement that we get each year. This can reimburse the county up to $55,000 to go towards our salaries. I'm just asking approval for this grant. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And this is a ratification. I've already signed the grant after speaking with legal. And given things in Washington and the state, I thought I better rush on that, so I did sign it. All right, so any comments or questions? Commissioner Jones?
No, just thank you.
Yeah. Commissioner Madeira?
No, this is very valuable.
Yeah, it's really great to still have this half salary payment. It means a lot to the county's budget, so I'm grateful, and thank you to you and Jamie for all your hard work. Any public comment on this item? You can raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium in Nat U Hill. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the ratification of the 2024 Emergency Management Performance Salary Grant signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Move approval of Reed & Sons construction agreement for Karst Farm Park. Fund names: County General, Convention Visitors and Tourism, which is the 2023 and 2024 GO bonds, and Parks reverting and non-reverting. The fund numbers are 1,000, 1127, 4817, 4819, 1178, and 1179. In an amount not to exceed $1,377,250.
You have a second?
All right. Thank you so much. Good morning, Ms. Whitmer.
Good morning, and I'm not sure, did you also mention County General Fund?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just double checking. This is very good news for us. This is for an additional turf field, which is synthetic, and all the ADA amenities and all the utilities that will go along with this. So we're very excited to add this to the project list. In order to make this happen, the Parks Board voted to take $250,000 of their non-reverting fund toward this project so we could have everything that we needed for this field.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Comments, questions? Commissioner Madeira?
No, I'm delighted our community will be able to make good use of these spaces.
It'll be excellent because with the 3 additional synthetic fields, it will put less stress on our grass fields and we can rotate better, and overall the entire complex will be improved.
Commissioner Jones?
Yeah, this is just very exciting, good news.
This is great news, and it was already wonderful with the 2 fields, and so it's even better to add a third. Appreciate all the work that went into organizing this, and I know we have another item related to this in a moment. Thank you so much. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. You can raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium in Nat U Hill.
Mr. Woodmore out of the podium here. It's Christopher Energy from the Greater Bloomington Chamber of Commerce. We've been big supporting of these investments at Karst Park, specifically the soccer fields. And what we saw last year as a community member with the drought was those fields were overused on the grass level. On a economic development level, as a parent of a travel son who does multiple sports, you see what communities have invested in those facilities and which have not. And it's good to see the county on the soccer level has done that, and that it brings in people. We spend money. Just during Martin Luther King holiday weekend, my family spent a night over in Fishers, had a lovely dinner, hotel stay. These are the type of things that do bring people in, and we don't have that in other sports here. And soccer, I would say, is the flagship in bringing people in for those travel tournaments. And I appreciate the investment and Ms. Whitmer's fine leadership over at the Parks Department. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Is there any other public comment on this item?
I just want to say that we actually were in a meeting this week with Visit Bloomington, and we're already making plans for the athletic year 2026 to see what we can bring in. And along with soccer, lacrosse is the next emerging sport. We have Quidditch once in a while, you know, and we have ultimate, we have homeschools, we have high schools, all kinds of ages that utilize our athletic complex.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. See no other public comment. All those in favor of approving the Reed and Sons construction agreement for Cars Farm Park signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Move approval of Musco Sport Lighting LLC for the Karst Athletic Complex, Field Number 12. Fund name, County General, Convention Visitors and Tourism, 2023 and 2024 GO bonds, and parks reverting and non-reverting. Fund numbers 1,000, 1127, 4817, 4819, 1178, and 1179 in an amount not to exceed $195,842.
I second.
All right. We have a motion and we have a second.
This is a fantastic opportunity because it does cost less if you put all of the amenities in together. If we have to come back, I can't even tell you what kind of damage to the other fields bringing the big trucks in. So this is cost effective, and as I tell them, it'll never be less money.
Absolutely.
So lighting a field that you just put a large investment in is a tremendous impact for playability.
Thank you. Comments or questions, Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't.
Commissioner Madeira?
Nope. Again, a very valuable addition to our community asset.
Just a testament to Ms. Whitmer and the staff and the Parks Board, if you look at how this money's been cobbled together, it's awesome. It's something to behold. So thank you for putting that effort in. All right, let's see if there's any public comment on this item. You can raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the Musco Sport Lighting LLC contract for Karst Athletic Complex Field Number 12 signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you. All right, next item, please.
Move approval of the 2025 Surveyor Review Board appointments.
I second.
We have a motion and we have a second, and we have Surveyor and Ray Randolph joining us. Good morning.
Good morning. Glad to be here. I actually had a very interesting conversation earlier today and somewhat forgot I was on the agenda. So about 15 minutes beforehand, I was like, oh, so I rushed over here. So I was planning on doing a larger presentation of kind of what our efforts are in the Surveyor Review Board, but I was going to do a really quick one. And this is honestly for our new commissioner, since I come here year after year. So I was wondering if I was able to share my screen, if TSD would.
TSD, could you allow the surveyor, please?
I'm under Tron and Ray Randolph. Oh, here we go. I have never done this on my phone before, so I would have brought my laptop, but I didn't have time, so I'll share my screen. Start broadcasting, okay. Okay, neat. So this is a lot of information for a dashboard to be shown on the phone, but it also shows some of the dynamic capabilities that GIS can bring. So, for instance, among many duties of the surveyor's office is perpetuating the public land surveying system in the county. Every deed, parcel, and legal land document in the state of Indiana is tied into the original survey performed in the early years of settlement. Section cornerstones were set to mark each square mile of the state. Our office is tasked with the job of finding section cornerstones, referencing them by measurement to nearby structures, and marking them the locations of the section corners at the surface. Our office maintains records showing original government section corners and is required to establish, locate, and reference at least 5% of corners each year. The Surveyor Review Board and offers technical advice to assist concerning our section corner work. Please note in this request, I'm also asking for a waiver of provision D in chapter 216-2, the uniformity provision of the residency requirement, and reappoint Ms. Ozer, as well as Mr. Deckard and Mr. Borgman. So with that said, sounds like a lot of words. This is kind of Monroe County. If I zoom out, you start losing the section corners, but when I zoom in, I have it set where you can see the section corner monuments. I also have this graph here that kind of shows the efforts going. We are in the process of migrating this all to our new GIS server, so there is a little TLC needed, so this is not 100% reflective of our efforts, but it's pretty darn close. So I'll go ahead and hit the perpetuation. As you see, we have 58.5 of these monuments perpetuated. Then what's neat is that you can kind of see that on the dashboard. But this is what I want to bring some of your attention to, is we have different various grades of these monuments documented. In a lot of cases, some of it is kind of pretty limited on the evidence that we've been able to provide. As we've moved forward with indexing surveys and making also a utility available where surveyors on the field can access this information, and having a review board with 3 professional surveyors and also an in-house surveyor to help with our effort. We're also collecting geodetic controls so we can really reestablish that point if anything happens, and also to really make a determination on corners where they call it the pincushion effect, where multiple surveyors have held at different locations over the years. Within our review board and providing more evidence, surveyors have actually shifted some of their opinions on monuments they hold. I think this is critical in our efforts to really preserve and protect the property rights of everyone in Monroe County. So I'll go ahead and now sort this from the survey grade. I think we have closer to 600, but it says 530. Like I said, we're in the process of updating this. I'll go ahead and move that. And as you can see, this is going to highlight the efforts that we've done. One of my goals currently is to perpetuate the county boundaries. And then after that, the township boundaries. So any uncertainty is contained within those areas, and that disruption is limited. It's a very complex profession. It's over 200 years old. The science, the methodology, and everything has changed. And being able to have a board with other experts, we don't always agree, which I think makes it a great conversation, allows us to really do a great job for the county. And that's what the Surveyor Review Board's all about. And I ask for your approval to reappoint these 3 members. Thank you.
Thank you. Comments or questions, Commissioner Maduro?
I have one. So it says early days of settlement. What are we roughly talking about here? How long have those stones been out there?
1800s.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few documents. Right now, a date jumps out at 1818.
Wow.
And also, those were established with fence posts, and then they came back and established and set stones. It's pretty interesting, and it's the PS that we have currently in house. He has extreme focus and drive to really look at the historic evidence and then kind of bring that to what's going on more modern day in the surveying practice. So Yeah, very few of those stones still exist. And none of those fence posts exist in Monroe County.
Thank you. No further questions.
Commissioner Jones, comments or questions?
No, this is something we.
Yep. I have just a concern, and if we're already waiving item D for an out-of-county resident, you have 2 surveyors listed with Monroe County addresses, but those are both business addresses. Those are not residential addresses. So maybe something Mr. Cockrell can address, but I'm not sure if it's. I would assume that they're both county residents, but I don't know that. And, you know, we're waiving it specifically for one person. Are we waiving it for the other 2?
Great question. I guess from my personal understanding, I would presume that they live in Monroe County, but I'm not going to mislead, so I can't be definitive on that.
I believe the request for waiving the residency applies only to Ms. Ozer,
right,
and not to the other 2.
Yeah.
So
correct.
I think it would be incumbent upon the surveyor to confirm that their residents are in the county.
Seems like it.
Or
Please
come
do
back
that.
and make a request that the waiver would apply to them as well.
Can do that. I know that we pay them for their service and send their checks to their address. I could maybe find that information here shortly, or would you want me just to put this back on the agenda?
Come back if it's not correct. Come back if they are not Monroe County residents.
Okay,
come back another day.
Okay.
And we have to apply the same waiver.
Sounds good. So
if we choose.
Okay, so from my understanding, you would consider approving this with that contingency and then come back?
There's no contingency. We'll approve this list as is, but we're going to, you need to ensure that those 2 members are Monroe County residents, not that they work here, but that they live here.
Absolutely. I can do that, and I could do that before our next board meeting to make sure that everything is accurate. I have a high confidence they are, but again, I'd rather confirm it.
If there's any public comment on this item, you can raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. Right, all those in favor of approving the 2025 Surveyor Review Board reappointments, which are Mr. Deckard, Mr. Borgman, and Ms. Ozer. And for Ms. Ozer, there is a request of waiver of provision D for residency requirement. All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Motion carries 3-0. Thank you.
Because we knew that that surveyor was outside of Monroe County, and I'm certain the other conversation would have been brought up. But again, I'd rather be certain so I can provide you accurate information.
Okay, thank
you.
Please.
Move approval of ordinance 2025-03 to amend the Monroe County Code, Chapter 270, adding Monroe County Sheriff Reserves Donation Fund. Fund name, Monroe County Sheriff Reserve Donation. Fund number 4115. And there is not an amount.
I second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Mr. Cockrell.
There isn't an amount because we have not actually received Board of Commissioners to accept those donations or not. What we are anticipating with this, and I gave you a different copy of the version of this, the only real, even if you somewhat substantive changes, working with the auditor's office in the LAO system, they're going to title it Donations-Sheriff Reserve. And so we made the change to the actual title of it to reflect that, so that when we're 20 years down the road and we're trying to figure out what's this tied to, it becomes a lot easier. So that is a change. What is currently happening, and Randy Jacobs is here if you have any questions about it, is our current sheriff reserves are under a corporate umbrella, and so they utilize that. Their numbers are such, and the sheriff really wants them to focus more upon kind of county-oriented business as opposed to doing a lot of external business. They're in the process of dissolving that 501c3 corporation. With that, they're going to have proceeds, and the proceeds are going to include funds, and this is a mechanism we can utilize so they could donate those funds for that. The funds would be used to perpetuate the current sheriff's idea of what the reserve should be doing, which is a lot more county meetings and those kind of, and county functions. And so that is the intent of what's going on, and this is just to have a placeholder for when that occurs. We have a mechanism to receive that funding.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Did you have anything you wanted to add, Mr. Jacobs? No? Okay, he covered it. All right. Thank you. Thank you for being here. All right. Any comments or questions, Commissioner Jones?
No, to me, this sounds like a really good plan, and I'm glad that we're moving in this direction.
Commissioner Madeira?
I echo Commissioner Lee's comments.
Yeah, it is an interesting and important move, and doesn't really change much on the surface, and we appreciate their service in the reserves. Definitely do. All right, let's see if there's any public comment on this item. You can raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. All right, seeing none, all those in favor of approving ordinance 2025-03 signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you. Item.
Move approval of Resolution 2025-03, clerk surplus property.
I second.
We have a motion and we have a second, and this is the other half of the previous item. So this is going to be a trade-in on the current scanner for the new scanner. Yes.
Correct. And Ms. Turner King is unable to make it, so if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
Thank you so much. Comments or questions, Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't.
Commissioner Madeira?
I have none.
All right. Any public comment on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving Resolution 2025-03, clerk surplus property, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Move approval of Resolution 2025-04, highway surplus property.
We have a motion?
I second.
All right. Mr. Cockrell.
Yes, this is to declare a mower surplus that is currently used by the highway garage. I believe they want to have the replacement in time for them to utilize the mower for mowing. I think their intent is to maybe sell this or potentially trade it in, depending on what they are hearing from vendors in the area. And so this is to declare that mower surplus. It is beyond its useful life and it cannot be used for the intended purpose.
Thank you so much. Comments or questions, Commissioner Madeira?
None.
Commissioner Jones? I don't either. Let's see if there's any public comment. Anybody who wants to save that mower for some reason? All right. Seeing none. All those in favor of approving Resolution 2025-04 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Move approval of NDOT change order number 2 for the Vernal Pike Sunrise Greetings Project. Fund name, Vernal Pike Connector. Fund number 8165 in the amount of $44,900.20.
I second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Ms. Ridge, tell us all about it.
During construction, it was discovered that there was an unknown sanitary sewer line that ran under the roadway. So the location of the existing line would put it into our MSE wall. So we were concerned with leaving the live utility in the right-of-way under a new road with no protection. So we went ahead and did extra casings installed around the line for extra protection to protect the road. So this was the increase to do that work. We have worked it out with the property owner, since it does go to their property, of splitting the cost of that in half. And then if the project is underrun and we can get reimbursement of 80% for our portion of it, then we will do so.
Great. Thank you so much. Comments, questions? Commissioner Jones?
Yes, I'm just kind of curious, and I would never hold you to it. Do you have any idea of the finishing date for that?
Timeline, so you're looking at July, August for both of those projects to have an intermediate completion date, which is actually open to the public. So July, August are both of those dates.
Oh, excellent. That's very good news. Thank you.
Can we do some ribbon cutting just for the heck of it? Yes, a big, massive ribbon. Commissioner Madeira, any comments or questions?
Nope, this is all good news, and I guess last-minute surprises on the way to good news. So,
yeah, there's always things to manage. All right, excellent work figuring this out. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. You can raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium in Nat U Hill. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the change order change order number 2 for Vernal Pike Sunrise Greetings Project signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you so much. Now, we don't have any appointments today, but I will note that we are looking for Animal Management Board members, Redevelopment Commission. My gosh, we need board members. So please contact us. Go to co.monroe.in.us and look for further information on boards and commissions. And while you're there, click on the megaphone on the homepage and you will be able to sign up for resident alerts. Resident alerts are a way to keep ahead of severe weather, which works, spring's on the way. And it is Bloomington. Any road closures, road issues, or other emergencies, you're notified by phone, text, and or email. So click on the megaphone to do that. And take a look at that calendar at the bottom of the page on our homepage, and you will find that there are 6 different days each month where you can meet with and talk with county commissioners during our office hours. So just pick the preferred date and join us via Teams for those conversations that are so important. There are some blood drives coming up at Ivy Tech that we're co-sponsoring. It is at Shreve Hall, 200 Daniels Way. The next blood drive is Wednesday, February 12th, 10 a.m. to 3. Thursday, February 13th, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. And the dates in March are the 4th and the 5th. So please go to redcross.org to make an appointment. There's always seems to be a shortage of blood products in our community. And we really do appreciate those who are able to take the time to donate. Anything else for the good of the order? Anything else?
Nope.
Awesome. We do have a work session. It's 10:48. So at 11 a.m. we will have 11 a.m.-ish. We will have our work session, and we will see you then. Our next meeting is going to be You know, when you get a new month, you always have to double check. It is going to be the 6th of February, Thursday, February 6th, right here in the Nat U Hill Room at 10 a.m. Thank you, and we are adjourned.